killing, maiming, destroying, raping, kidnapping, and extorting ransom. And the federal government did not do anything to stop them. So it became clear that we were living in very dangerous. Our life was in danger in Nigeria. The life of the non-Fulani peoples of Nigeria are in danger, and the Fulani organizations like the Fulani National Movement and the Fulani and Miyetti Allah of various types were proudly, confidently making statements to the effect that all the land of Nigeria belonged to the Fulani, that the Fulani had a reason to take it, had accumulated weapons and money to prosecute the war, and would banish people from their lands. And those they could not banish, they would exterminate totally. And they were proceeding to carry out those things. They were already carrying those things out. And there was no resistance, but they were committing massive crime across the country. And the authorities of the country did not attempt to stop them. It became clear that Nigeria was no longer an acceptable home for those of us who are not Fulani. And so young people in Yoruba land gathered together and decided that in addition to all the suffering they have been experiencing in Nigeria, now here comes actual threat to the lives of themselves, their parents, their families, and so on. And that the only solution is getting our own country out of Nigeria. Restructuring no longer sufficient to tackle the problem. That restructuring is no longer sufficient to tackle the problem. And they brought it to me, and I agreed with them absolutely that restructuring has become inadequate. So we decided to demand our own country out of Nigeria. And by doing that, we were not committing any offense. It is the right of self-determination. The right of self-determination is the inalienable right of every nationality, large or small. The Constitution of the United Nations says so. The Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People, of 2007, declares so also. So we decided to take our self-determination. We decided to take our self-determination, and we started to work on it in a legally, in a lawful, law-abiding manner. And that's what we're doing. So other people from other parts of Nigeria who wanted to do the same thing came along, and we joined hands together, the people of the South-South, the Southeast, the Middle Belt, and we formed an alliance. And the name of the alliance is Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination. And we looked at it and we decided that there was no point in joining the struggle for restructuring. We must take legal action to retrieve ourselves, to retrieve our lives, to retrieve our security, to receive our prosperity from this country that is breaking up. So we went forward and issued a dispute. We proclaimed a dispute with the Nigerian state. That is a legally acceptable approach. We declared a legal dispute with the Nigerian state to say that all these claims that have been made in the Constitution of 1999, to which none of our people contributed, were forgeries. That the Constitution says we've submitted our land to Nigeria under that 1999 Constitution, that it is not true. We never even took part in discussing the Constitution. They say we submitted all our people to the Constitution. We never did that. To Nigeria under the Constitution, we never did that. It says that we submitted all our resources to Nigeria under that 1999 constitution. We never did that. But that we were not going to disrupt the country. We were not going to declare unilateral secession and so on. So people call us secessionists. They are using the radar. That's their understanding, but it is wrong. We are not secessionists. We demanded that the Nigerian government should come forward and let us discuss the matter. And we gave them 90 days to do so. And the 90 days have passed, and we have declared, you said the APC as a party promised restructuring in its constitution. Yes, they did, but as soon as they came into power, the president, yes, APC promised restructuring, but as soon as they came to power, the president announced that he had no business with restructuring. There had been a national conference in 2014. The report was ready and given to him. He said he would not even read it or ask anybody to read it for him. And he would not issue any brief on it. These are so I don't think anybody can continue to say that the APC is doing anything for restructuring. Under pressure, they set up a committee led by the governor of Kaduna State, and they went around the country and invited people like me to speak before them in the Southwest, and I did. But the report has been submitted, and the president continues to say that there is no room for restructuring, that he is not going to be involved in restructuring. So I don't think we can talk of APC as trying to restructure. I think that would be a false claim, totally false claim. As to the National Assembly now toying with the idea of constitutional review, they do not have the authority to do so. One of them actually said so about 2-3 months ago, that the National Assembly has no mandate, has no competence to review the Nigerian Constitution. They don't. So, because what we are dealing with here is the separate sovereignties of the many nationalities of Nigeria. Each nationality has its own right to self-determination, therefore has its own sovereignty. It's by pulling all the sovereignties together that Nigeria can work together. If the sovereignties are ignored and their interests are ignored, then there is no basis for Nigeria. And that is why Nigeria is breaking up. That's why we are demanding to take our separate peoples out of Nigeria. I don't believe that the Yoruba people have a duty to stay in a country in which their people are being killed, in which their farms are being ravaged, in which their women are being raped, in which their people are being kidnapped and taken to the bush and so on, in which people are coming to use cows to destroy farms, and they themselves are going out to destroy farms of tree crops and cutting down the tree crops or burning them and generally destroying the economic base of the Yoruba nation. I don't think we have a business staying there. And that's why we came out to say, okay, we want to pull our own Yoruba nation out of Nigeria. Now you can say the Igbo have been saying that for decades, but now it's a new thing. They want to pull their Igbo nation out of Nigeria. The people of the South want to pull their nations out of Nigeria. The peoples of the Middle Belt want to pull their nations out of Nigeria. It's not secession. We are not talking of secession. We are talking of establishing, affirming our self-determination. That's all. nobody, no Yoruba person, no Yoruba person, no Yoruba person, no matter what place he holds in the public and the politics of Nigeria, has a right to say that a section of Yoruba land is no longer part of Yoruba land. No. I'm sure that that's not what Governor Keredodo intends, but that's the way it reads, it sounds to those of us who are listening. He has no right, he has no mandate, he has no authority to say that Ondo State will not be part of Yoruba land. He has no such right. So I don't think that is something to talk about. But there is another claim that he made on television that I must respectfully demanding. We held a press conference on the 91st, the day after the expiration, and we announced the things that we are going to do. Each of us will now proceed, since we didn't get any response, for an orderly negotiation, orderly dialogue with the federal government of Nigeria. We have decided to go on and do a number of things on our own. First, we are going to write constitutions for the countries that we demand. Second, we are going to prepare all the documentations for the countries we demand for submission to the United Nations. And third, we are going to demand that the United Nations, on the basis of our request, should come and hold referendums for each of our, for us, for each of the members of our alliance out of Nigeria. So we envisage that the United Nations will come. The United Nations will come. We have already gotten the United Nations involved. Our force majeure dispute with Nigeria was submitted to the United Nations, and it has been acknowledged. We have submitted it to the European Union, to the African Union, to ECOWAS, to many countries in the world. United States, Canada, Britain, Germany, China, and they are all looking at, they are all waiting for the next steps. And the next steps is that we are going to go to them that on the basis of the federal government's refusal to discuss with us, we will proceed. We are proceeding to write our own constitution for the new countries that we want. We are going to be preparing all the documentation for new countries, and we are going to be taking those before the United Nations. And we are going to be demanding that the United Nations should come and hold a referendum for the Yoruba nation, another referendum for the another referenda for the different members of the alliance. Yes, yes, that's what we are proceeding to do now. That's what we are doing now. And we are doing all this in a legally binding, legally respectable manner. And everything is going well. The Yoruba people must expect that in some time in the future, by the grace of God, the United Nations will make a statement to the effect that they want to hold a referendum for the Yoruba people on the basis of the facts before them. That's it. That is what is developing now. Naturally, we expect the government of Nigeria to react. Yes, naturally, we expect the government of Nigeria to react in some way, and they're already indicating the way they will react. But that does not stop us from doing what we are doing, because the right of self-determination is the right of every nationality in the world, and it is inalienable. And in asserting our self-determination, we do not owe any explanation to anybody or need to seek permission from anybody. So we don't need to seek permission from Nigeria. We would have loved to sit down and discuss with Nigeria during the 90 days. They refused to come. So now we go on and do what is our duty for our nationalities. The important thing, if they now seriously come forward to us with an offer of dialogue, of course, we are responsible people. We don't want to cause disruption. We are responsible people. We don't want to cause disruption. We don't want to take any illegal actions. But we will take whatever action is legally possible for us, is legally open to us. Well, if as long as the country remains as it is, with the Fulani rampaging over our land, killing our women, raping our women, killing our farmers, destroying the basis of our economy, there is no reason for us to want to be part of any election in Nigeria. In fact, on the basis of our dispute, under the force majeure declaration, proclamation, we have rejected the Nigerian Constitution of 1999. We have repudiated it. And therefore, we reject any election being held under it. Because the people who will be elected under it will be elected under its terms, the terms and clauses of that constitution. And they will swear to rule under that constitution. We reject that totally. So the answer really is that if the federal government wants us to come back, if they say, okay, we are sorry we didn't answer in the first place, but we want to come and discuss with you now, we are ready to discuss with them. But let it be clear, we have already repudiated the 1999 Constitution because its claims are false. Its fundamentals are forgeries. And so that is it. Some group among us before now did go to court, yes, but the authorities have used every power available to them to make sure that the case did not go on. So people have taken all sorts of steps, legally possible steps, to get this constitution removed, because it is not a kind of constitution under which a country like Nigeria should be living. We are a country of many peoples, many sovereignties, many peoples, each with its own self-determination as a matter of right given by God. And so the truth is that going to court now again is not necessarily we have taken the action that we have taken, and it is legally defensible, it's legally binding, it's legally respectable. That's all.